someone else? Well, my friend and mentor, Rory Vaden, says it best. He says, you are perfectly positioned to serve the person you once were. Think about that. There's stuff you've been through in your life. There's lessons you've learned, obstacles you've overcome, and there's lessons you've learned along the way that you can take and help other people. Because right now, there's someone going through what you went through in the past, and you can take those lessons you've learned and help them overcome their challenges. So I started going through my life, and I started thinking, well, what have I been through, and what lessons have I learned that I could use to help others? And I started sharing those, and it started helping people. And that's why I'm here today sharing this message, because I overcame the fear of public speaking years ago, and I wanted to share what helped me so other people can share their message with the world. So first, I realized I had a message to share. Then I started asking myself, well, what goes through my head that makes me so nervous before I get up to speak? And I would think thoughts like, they're going to judge me. What if they don't like the way I look, or the way I'm dressed, or what if they don't like the sound of my voice, or what if I mess up and I say the wrong thing? All those thoughts that were going through my head were about me. Me. And I realized I needed to shift that. And that led me to the second realization that helped me overcome my fear of public speaking, was realizing that sharing your message is not about you. It's about the people you're there to serve and what's in it for them. And my friend Rory Vaden says it best. He told me fear disappears when the mission to serve is clear. When you have the heart to serve people, you take the focus off of you. And you start focusing on what's the benefit that they're going to get by hearing my message. And that changed everything for me. When I took the focus off of me, and I started focusing on what are they going to get out of my message, I realized if one person takes what I have to say and applies it to their life, it was worth it. So key number one is you have a message to share. Number two, your message is not about you, it's about the people you're there to serve. Now the next thing I started to do was I started to study, well, what is fear? And fear is our body's natural response to danger. When our body feels danger, we go into the fight or flight response. And we get ready to run or fight for our lives. So I was studying, well, what are the common causes of fear? And the most common physiological responses to fear are increased heart rate, increased adrenaline, shallow breathing, muscle tension, sweating, dry mouth, and butterflies in the stomach. Well, I used to get most of those when I would get up to speak. But I started to ask myself, what other times do I feel those feelings? Well, I feel those feelings when I get excited. So I looked up, what are the most common causes or the common physiological responses to excitement? And they are increased heart rate, increased adrenaline, shallow breathing, muscle tension, sweating, dry mouth, and butterflies in the stomach. Our bodies go through the exact same physiological response in response to fear or excitement. So the way to tell the difference if it's fear is associated with a threat or danger, or if it's excitement, it's positive anticipation. So it all comes down to, am I in danger or am I looking forward to this? And that led me to the third key that helped me overcome my fear, was that I could transform my fear into excitement. So when you get up and you start to share your message and you feel those familiar feelings, what I used to do was say, oh, there's that fear again. Remember when you used to speak before? That didn't go so well. They're going to judge you. This isn't for you. Why do you think you should do this? And that fear would overtake me. But now what I do, I shifted that and I created a new story. So when I feel those feelings, I tell myself, you're excited. You're about to go out there and transform someone's life today. And now I really do get excited because I know that if I go out and if one person takes what I have to say and they apply it to their life, I can make a positive impact. So I want you to remember, when you get up, you start to feel those feelings, you have the ability to transform that fear into excitement. So if you're still wondering, why should I share my message? What impact do I have to make? Well, I want to take you back to 2012. At the time, I was giving the biggest talk that I'd given at that point. And there was an auditorium full of 200 people. And I was ready. I knew my message. My mission to serve was clear. I transformed my fear into excitement, and I went out there and I delivered. And at the end of the talk, a man came up to me, and he said, "Dr. Justin, I want to thank you for sharing that message." He said, "I recently underwent quadruple bypass surgery." He said, "When I was laying in the hospital bed, my family, they brought in my little grandson, and they put my grandson on my lap. And he said, I looked at my grandson, and I made a promise right then and there that I'm going to get my health back because I'm going to be around to watch my grandson grow up." And he said, "What you just shared with me gave me exactly what I needed